千里之行，始于足下. A journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath the feet. We now gather in the Tao to travel the journey together. Welcome to Tao Talks with Derek Lin, where we delve deeply into the Daodejing by Lao Tzu. I want to also bring this back. This is the slide that you saw after the story about Sai Wong Shi Ma, which is the old frontiersman loses a horse. Yan Zhi Fei Fu, how do you know it's not a blessing? So the only thing that I would add to that is, number one, we want to make sure that we extract the important lessons out of that story. It's a classic, and it is often used even today when people remind one another that, something that seems to be bad that is happening, that seems to be a setback. Well, don't be fooled by the appearance. There may be more underneath the surface. So you heard me say 塞翁失马, and in the romanization, in the pinyin romanization here, it looks like it should be Wang, W-E-N-G. Well, that's what pinyin dictates, but it actually sounds like Wong. So the pinyin system, as I have mentioned before, is far from perfect. And then what is written in pinyin as yan is actually yan, yan zhi fei fu. So these are, if you go just by the what it seems to sound like in English, you end up pronouncing things that are a little different than a native speaker. So as I said, the important thing for us in regards to that story is to extract the most important lessons out of the story. And it's important enough, it's such a classic, it is still so widely used today that I want to spend just a moment to relay the important lessons, the primary lessons. So first of all, what people think of as a bad thing may actually contain a good thing for us to discover. So in the story, this is reacting to a disaster like losing a horse, or later on in the story, like the son breaking his leg. Seems like a bad thing. Most people think of it as a bad thing, but the story's point is that it may actually contain a good thing. But you have to be open-minded enough to look for that, to open your eyes to be receptive to that. So here's the lesson. Do not get overwhelmed by disappointment or depression. When something quote unquote bad happens, you want to be sure that you take a step back mentally and then look at the whole situation from a Tao perspective. If you don't do that, you may miss the discovery. There's something good to discover. Number two is the opposite. What people think of as good fortune may contain the seed of bad luck for those who are careless. So there's no emphasis on luck in the Tao. When you cultivate the Tao, you begin to see how destiny, fortune, luck are all things that you can determine for yourself. You don't need to leave them to chance. So good fortune may contain quote unquote bad luck for those who are careless, because the lesson is, well, if you lose your head when something good happens, good news, victory, triumph. If you lose your head, that could be dangerous because arrogance and complacency can lead to one's downfall. And literally, something good that happens contains the seed of something bad to come if you succumb to being arrogant and complacent. So lastly, to sum it all up, if we only look at the surface level, we can easily miss the real lessons underneath. So that is how things are in the world. They shift back and forth. They transition from good to bad, from bad to good, and your perception transitions as well. So what I want to invite everyone to do is to think of the Tao as your personal training in life to always go beyond external appearance, to always look for the essence, which is the truth. Our meeting has come to an end, but the journey continues on. Let us travel safely. Until next time, may the Tao fill you with peace and happiness.